guys, we're back. Ready to rock and roll? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Great. Just want to make sure you guys are there. You can see this clearly. Yep. Great. All right, let's see. All right, let's see here. Apparently we got some people watching on YouTube already. All right, let me know if you're out there watching on YouTube, so I know that it's working, the streaming. All right. Sorry guys, I'm still setting up here. I apologize for that. Had a little delay. Let's see, we got 26 people here. We're still missing a few. I think we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so here's the thing. You guys already know the rules from Friday, right? Hope you have an amazing weekend, by the way. You know the rules from Friday, and we're gonna keep up the same rules. For those that were here in the morning, you know now it's a little different, right? So it's not as fast paced as it was yesterday in the morning, and we're trying to go over 110 questions in the next 3.5 hours, or 3 hours actually. Okay. There's no questions to be asked here. I will break it down as much as I can, and if you have questions, let's take advantage of that during the break or after we finish, okay? This way we can go through all of them. I know some of you over the weekend send me messages, and that's great. And I replied to you guys. I hope you're able to understand a little bit better of questions you had. And that is great, because that's the only way to really figure out where you are is by asking questions, reviewing and asking the questions. All right, I think I'm ready. Boom. All right, let's see. I got you here, got you here. Great, great. Good to go. All right, cool. So we are now good to go. Practice exam B. Oh, Gil, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Quite honestly, no. But I appreciate it. This was just round one of a series of procedures that I'm going to go through. In 2 weeks, I'll be back. And hopefully in the next one, I will be good. Unfortunately, insurance companies, they play with your health before you can actually get the right treatment. So it's step by step. All right, but we'll get there. All right, so here we go. Guys, you know the rules. We're going to go one by one, read it. And once I finish, just put your answers. But make sure you guys take your time at reviewing the question and putting an answer. This morning it was fire, like we were just spitting, doing quizzes and spitting answers. But here, I want you guys to slow down and actually pay attention to the question, okay? So, let's go. It says, get out of the way. We're making adjustments here, so camera's a little bit in the way right now. But I will zoom out. There you go. Right there. Okay, great. So it says here, a house contains screens, smoke alarms, and a crystal chandelier. The contract of sale mentions none of these items specifically. Before final closing, the seller has the right to remove the screens because they are trade fixtures, the smoke alarms, which are personal property, the chandelier because it's appurtenance, or none of the items. 30 answers. Vanessa got used to this morning's strategy. She's like, the first one. Okay. So, here we go. Ready? The answer is none of the items. Vanessa's on the roll since this morning. There you go. None of the items. Why? Because look, if the listing does not specifically state it, the contract does not specifically state it, right? Then the house is sold as is. Can anything be removed? No. Okay? That's why you got to ask always at listing and at purchase. What is included, what is not included with the sale of this property. Okay? Number 2. The amount of earnest money deposit or good faith deposit is determined by state law, the broker, agreement of the parties, or the local association of realtors. Who determines the amount of earnest money or good faith deposit? Letting everybody answer. All right, it looks like almost everybody is on point. And the correct answer is earnest money or good faith deposits. Good faith for a reason, right? You're saying as a buyer that you're in good faith going to act in the best interest and hope so that they will conclude the contract. If you default, then the seller is entitled to keep the money. Who sets this amount? It's an agreement between the parties. So seller agrees with whatever the buyer puts, and the buyer agrees with whatever the seller requests. Simple. Hold on, are we all on the same page? Vanessa, you answered correctly. Number 1? Oh, because you answered A? I think that's what you answered. Okay, so let's go with your answer then. Real quick, with your answer. Why is it not A? Because this is residential, and A says trade fixtures. Sorry. Oh. Yeah. Or smoke alarms because they're personal property. All these have things that disqualify them. Got it? Okay. Sarah says C. I was on the bike. Okay. Or a chandelier. They won't have lights. Actually, with the chandelier thing is that they put here appurtenance. It's not an appurtenance. But chandelier, here's the thing. Again, if it's not a on the contract stipulated, listing not stipulated, then it can't change anything. Gil said, sorry, promissory can't be, or it doesn't have to be money. There's no mandatory. Yeah. All right, 3. All right, Nelson McDonald sold his house on his own and still owed a broker commission. He must have had what? Open listing, net listing, exclusive right to sell listing, or exclusive agency listing. Which of these did Nelson have? Guys, think before you answer. On his own, but still owed a commission. Take your time. This is not like a rapid fire. You don't have to answer right away. I'll give you enough time to answer. But think before you answer. Still owed commission. Okay, let me cross some out. This is illegal in New Jersey. So definitely not. Net listing is definitely not. Okay. Open listing, we only owe to whoever sells the property. So if I sell on my own, I don't have to pay. So we're down to 2. These 2. We're down to exclusive right to sell or exclusive agency. And I think the name says it all. Exclusive right to sell. Meaning, no matter what, you owe me money. It's a marriage. No matter what. You can't get rid of me just like that. Exclusive agency, remember, exclusive agency is when you're engaged. You can still back out of the deal, right? And that's what it is. But if you still owe commission, that means that the agent or the agency has an exclusive right to sell no matter what. So the answer is C as in Charlie. Okay? All right. 4. Don't forget to put down the answer in your notebook, because at the end you need to calculate what your score was. This is for your own records, not for me. Okay? So it's for you to see where you are as you test yourselves. Okay? Now, which can be executed without subjecting the signers to further responsibility of title? Before we go forward, I'm sorry, Daphne, you're asking chapter? Okay, chapter 10, listings. All right, so before we go forward, guys, in this question, remember in exam prep, I try to break down the questions for you, right? So if it is responsibility for title, then we're looking for the document that transfers the property to somebody else. That's the first thing. Second, it says without subjecting the signers to further responsibility. So who signs a document to transfer title? Meaning, who signs the deed? Because that's the only document that transfers title. Who signs the deed? So think about it. Don't answer. Just think about it before I read the answers. Is it a quitclaim deed, the one that has no further responsibility for the signers or the sellers? Is it a special warranty deed? Is it a warranty deed or bargain and sale deed? Which one of these, don't answer yet, think, which one of these can be executed, so signed, without subjecting the signer, so the seller, to further responsibility of title? Is it quitclaim deed, special warranty deed, or bargain and sale deed? Which one of these? All right, I see your answers. Very good. And it seems like everybody's on point with this. And that is correct. It's a quitclaim deed. See, the other ones give some type of security to the buyer, right? But the quitclaim deed is the one with the least protection to the buyer. Therefore, they cannot come after the seller. Very good. What's a bargain and sale deed? It's the same as a special warranty deed, but without covenants, without warranties. Okay, so this one right here, this special warranty deed is a bargain sale deed with covenants against grantors act. So while I own the property, so it's like a limited warranty. While I own the property, I know what I've done to the property and what type of encumbrances the property has, right? The bargain and sale deed is used for foreclosures and used for tax sales. So it comes with a very, very small, if any, guarantee, where the quitclaim deed has no guarantee whatsoever. Okay? That's chapter, yep, bargain and sale. That's chapter 19. So legal descriptions and deeds. Number 5. All right, remember, long questions in the state exam, skip, come back to them later. Right now, we're not going to skip. But it says the utility company dug up Andrea Dunham's garden to lay gas lines. Now, the company had an easement recorded at the county clerk's office. Andrea claimed that the easement was invalid because she was never told about it. The easement was valid even if she never heard of it, was valid only if the company could prove she knew about it when she bought it, was appurtenant, or had expired if it not had been used for 10 years. Easement. What type of easement does the utility company have? Was it valid? Was not valid? Was it appurtenant? Was expired? Which one was it? Gil, do I have something on my face? All right. Correct answer. Ready? Correct answer is valid. An easement, first of all, is a right that somebody has on somebody else's property. That's the first thing. Second thing, it was recorded. So it's there, public records, and you cannot say you did not know because it's constructive notice. It's available. You should have researched. Number 3, utility companies. They have an easement in gross, simple right to use somebody else's property. So no matter what, there's nothing that Andrea, right, Andrea? There's nothing you could have done. Correct. Eminent domain is different. Eminent domain is the city's right on somebody else's property. Okay? Daphne, what's appurtenant? Appurtenant is adjacent. So attached properties. And utility companies do not have to have an easement appurtenant or attached properties. They have an easement in gross. Okay? All right, we got 32 people here. Let's do a quick round. Stephen, Jane, Andrea, Talia, Daphne, Anthony, Joseph, Meredith, Natalie, Sabrina, Vanessa, Sandra, Gil, Lena, Yanessa, Chad, Geraldine, Brian, Mina, Sarah, Linda twice, Yamili and company. Hey, Tidy, how are you? We got Carlos. Who else we got? We got David, Gary, Myra, Crystal, Abanoob, Nicole, Rudy. And we got a 619, which I don't know who it is. All right, cool. All right. Is there anybody watching on YouTube? Let me know you're there. You can also answer these questions. And let's go here. When the court orders real property sold to satisfy an unpaid lien, when the court orders real property sold to satisfy an unpaid lien, the process is known as easement, encumbrance, attachment, or foreclosure. When the court orders the sale to satisfy unpaid lien, you see court, you see unpaid lien. What are we talking about? This is question number 6. Boom, boom, boom. It looks like everybody's on point with this one. Landslide. Okay. Everybody was on point. The correct answer is D, foreclosure. but I know that's what you meant. Okay, whoever did not answer D is foreclosure. I know what you meant was D, and the finger just slipped. Yep, they're very close on the keyboard. All right, so here we go. Every time there's a court sale, it's foreclosure. That's what it's called. Number 7. We need calculators for this. Get your calculators ready. And it says the tax rate is $7.80 per $100 of assessment. Now, if the property is valued at $87,500 and assessed for 50% of its value, what is the total property tax? Go. Go do my calculations over here too. Okay. You don't need to tell me the answer yet. I'm going to go through the answers. All right. Nanette, no book, please. Make sure your book is away from you. Throw it out the window, please, for today. Ready? So this is question number 7. Is it A, $682.50? Is it B, $3,412.50? Is it C, $6,825? Or is it D, $13,650? Let me know the answer. Make sure you guys put the question number in front first so I know we're on the same question. All right. Is everybody answering or no? Well, I got like 13 people answered out of 35 people that we have on the line. Come on. Answers, answers. Andrea says she's confused still. All right. Very good. Ready? And the correct answer is B as in boy. All right, so here we go. I'm going to explain this one. First of all, it says it's $7.80 per $100 of assessed value. As I told you guys, all you have to do is take out the dollar sign, because if it's per $100, it's per cent, right? So we take the dollar sign, boom, boom. It's 7.8% of assessed value. Now, taxes are based on assessed value. Myra, if you're cooking, don't forget, 18 Oliver Street, 3rd floor. We appreciate good food. Anyway, back to where I was. It says the property is assessed at 50% of market value. So you need to figure out what's 50% of this, right? So how do we figure out 50%? I'm sure you guys know divide by 2. It's the simplest one of all. Divide by 2. So, I had it. I'm not in the mood to do. Okay, so it's 43,750, and this is considered the assessed value. So without getting to this, we can't go anywhere else. You need assessed value. Okay? Now that you have the assessed value and you have the percentage, you can go to the steering wheel if you want. And what are you going to do? You're going to put the two values that you have. You have percentage, 7.8%, and you have 43,750. If the number's at the bottom, what do? We multiply. And that will tell us it's 3,412.50 yearly tax, because the number on top is always yearly, and that's your tax bill. Okay. Will it always be per $100? Will the 100 ever change? It is possible. It is possible for it to change. Hey, Nanette, you forgot something. You forgot to put the percent key. But will it ever change? It could be. They could ask you per 1,000. Yes. So there's 3 ways to calculate. It could be it could be mils. It could be per 100, or it could be per 1,000. Luckily, in the state of New Jersey, it's always per 100. But they could ask you in the state exam or school exam, they could ask for 1,000. So per 1,000. So if it's per 100 or per 1,000, every time you see the word per also means divide by. Okay, so at one point, what do you have to do? Whatever number you get, divide by 100, divide by 1,000, divide by whatever it's per, whatever. Divide. Okay? Good for the next one? Sabrina singing opera. Okay. Let me take this out of the way. Oh, got you. I thought you were just putting that number. I thought you forgot to do the percentage after. Okay. All right. So let me clear this out the way real quick so I can have enough room. Question number 8. When appraising an office building, the appraiser is most concerned with accrued depreciation, annual mortgage payments, comparable sales, or net annual income. When appraising an office building, the appraiser is most concerned, this is an office building, is most concerned with which one of these? Accrued depreciation, annual mortgage payments, comparable sales, or annual net annual income, NOI. Which one? Andrea, I'll give you a discount because you still did not do chapter 16. All right, everybody appears to be on point, and the correct answer is NOI, net operating income. Very good. If it's an office building, there's not many to compare to. If it's an office building, the cost approach is not the most effective. We're going to look at the income that it brings, and that will determine its value. Very good. Number 9. Okay. A borrower obtained a second mortgage loan for $20,000 at 10%. A borrower obtained a second mortgage loan for $20,000 at 10%. It called for payments of $175 a month over a period of 5 years. The final installment, or the final payment, would be a balloon payment, meaning a higher inflated payment, right? This loan is what? A fully amortized loan, a partially amortized loan, a straight loan, or a blanket loan. Number 9. Correct answer is, if there's a larger payment than the ones you'll be making every single month, what type of loan is this? Fully amortized, partially amortized, straight loan, or blanket loan? Okay, for number 9, I got a few answers coming through. Most of you are correct. Okay, let me start by process of elimination, and we're going to start from the bottom up. A blanket loan is for subdivisions. Blanket loan is for subdivisions. A straight loan is an interest-only loan. So no. We're between fully amortized and partially amortized. So a fully amortized loan, guys, means that the first payment and the last payment are exactly the same. So if we started at $175 a month, then the last payment will be $175 a month. If we have a larger inflated payment, that means the monthly payments you'll be making every month were not enough to amortize. That means the loan was partially amortized. Amortization means to kill off slowly. If you did not make enough payments to kill off the loan, then it's partially amortized. Good? Great. All right, next. Calculators. I'll give you some time on this one. If the interest rate is 5%, if the interest rate is 5%, and the monthly interest payment is $650, the principal sum would be, all right, before you start calculating, let me help you guys out. Listen to me, pay attention to me, all right? First of all, interest is annual. Monthly payment. For you to figure out the principal, you need to go to a yearly charge. Okay? Good luck. Go for it. Meanwhile, I'm going to try to get myself out of the way. That works. All right, you don't have to put the answer yet. And Ninette, again, please throw the book away. Guys, don't use the book at all. Let's go by what we have in the on the screen and slowly. Only put the answer when I give you the options for answers, okay? Try to do your calculations. Don't follow anybody, okay? I'm just going to go grab some water as you guys are doing that. Yamili, book away, please, guys. No book, and don't put the answer. You guys not listening to me. I don't want you to put any answers, and I don't want you to use the book or any pages. Let's go strictly by what we have here, and you put on a piece of paper what your answer is. I will go over it in a second. Just trying to give opportunity for everybody to answer. Whoever's on YouTube, let me know that you're there. Thank you. And you can answer as well. Chad says I'm going to call my CPA. All right. You guys ready? Anthony, don't use the book. Listen, you guys are not listening to me. You guys have to be, okay, so Yamili, you got to be using something if you're giving me the answer A, B, C, or D. I don't want to know A, B, C, or D without me showing you. That means you're using it And I don't want you to do that for a simple reason. When you guys go to the state exam, a lot of you are going to go by process of elimination. I don't want that. I want to make sure you guys understand the process behind it. That's why I don't want you to have any answers in front of you. Otherwise, I would have just done this and give you answers. All right? There's a reason why I'm not doing it. You want to pass? Do exactly what I'm trying to tell you. No answers in front of you. No questions in front of you other than the one I have here. Believe me, it's going to make a huge difference. That's your answer, Sarah? 10. Worse than children. That's Sarah's answer. All right. So here we go. These are the answers. Ready? Is it A, $130,000, B, $156,000, C, $84,000, or D, $325,000? Correct answer is, I will explain, Vanessa, but correct answer is, drop it in the chat. By the way, I know in the state exam they'll show you all these answers, but again, there is a reason behind my madness. I know why I'm asking you not to have the answers. Okay? It would be nice to not see the answer. That's what I'm trying to do, Stephen. Trying not to show it. So makes you think, makes you calculate. The other ones I have to show you because you have to pick one of those. But here it's literally you have to think. All right. So here we go. Correct answer is B as in boy. And I gave you the hint when I said one number is annual, the other number is monthly. So there's something we have to do. The first thing we have to do is turn this 650 into yearly charge. All right? Once we get into the yearly charge, it's going to be $7,824. All right, great. Is that it? I don't know. I didn't do the math. I think it's, yeah. 650 times 12. So 7,800. Okay. 100. Okay. Now, this is the yearly payment, correct? Yearly interest payments. If we have an annual number, or rate, I'm sorry, and now we have an annual number, all we have to do, guys, it was very simple. Put it in the steering wheel, right? And we have a 5% or 0.05, and we have 7,800. This goes on top because it's a part or portion of the value. So this was the question. If I have a number on top and a number at the bottom, what do? We divide. 7,800 divided by 0.05, it will be 156,000. Okay? Hey, Carrie, good afternoon. How are you? Pearl is watching from YouTube as well. That's cool. All right. Chad says, that's what I did wrong. I multiplied. All right. So here's the reason why I try to go step by step and simplify it for you guys. And that's why I gave you guys also the steering wheel. If you could, get used to it. Because all you have to do is fill in the blanks. There's 3. 1 is missing, right? So you have the other 2, fill in the blanks. And it tells you when to divide or when to multiply, okay? So you always multiply the year and divide. I'm a little lost. You always multiply the year and divide the month. To get to the year, you multiply it by 12. If they ask you what is the monthly payment, yeah, you divide by 12, yeah. In this situation, you need to get to the yearly. If you have a monthly, what do? Multiply by 12 months. And you get the yearly, yeah. Also, there's an example of this on page 191. It's either 191 or 195. I think 12th edition was 191, but 13th edition is 195. I'm sorry. But it's either 191 or 195. Daphne, you want to know when to use the steering wheel? Whenever you have a multiplication or a division and you're not sure which one to do. The steering wheel is literally just to help you know two things. One is which numbers you're going to multiply or which numbers you're going to divide. And second thing is when to multiply or when to divide. That's it. Because if you make a mistake in putting 7,800 at the bottom, then you'll multiply and it's wrong. Right? You need to know what's part, portion, or income, and so on. So Anthony, it will be the same. At one point, you needed to multiply by 12. It will be the same, absolutely. You could have gone 5% and then multiply by 12, but it's exactly the same process as here. You still divided the interest payment, which is 650, right? And you still multiply by 12 at a later time. So exactly the same. Yep. Perla is asking, why is the 7,800 at the top and not at the bottom? Well, here's the thing. 7,800 is the interest payment, the annual interest. On top, guys, if you remember from the cheat sheet, on top, it goes part, portion, or income. Don't you think 7,800 is a part of the whole thing? You're trying to figure out value, right? You're trying to figure out value. What is the loan, right? What is the value of this loan? So value always goes in the bottom left. You have a part portion to figure out the actual value. Daphne, will interest always be annual? Yep, I pointed out when we got there in the math chapter, and I'm pointing it out again as I just did because it's very, very important. That's why I put it here. Interest is annual. Taxes are annual unless they ask you otherwise. If they said what's the monthly taxes or what's the monthly interest, at that point you have to divide by 12. In this case, interest is always annual, and they gave you a monthly payment instead of a yearly payment. So this multiplied by 12. Yep. Let's see. Perla, let me know you got it. In this one, you have to convert the 5. You could have used 5% or 0.05, Catherine. Either or. It should work. When you put in the calculator, either or should work. Okay, Perla says got it. All right, cool. Now, Ezra dies. This is 11. Ezra dies and devises his real property to his second wife. Let me take this stuff out of the way so it's easier to read. Sorry. Okay. So, like I said, Ezra dies and devises his real property to his second wife during her lifetime, after which the property will pass to Ezra's children. Ezra's children own what? A life estate, a reversion, a remainder interest, or estate for years. Ezra dies and devises, so he puts in a will, that the property goes to his second wife while she's alive. After that, right, the property will pass to Ezra's children. Ezra's children own what exactly? Remember, they're asking about Ezra's children. They're not asking about Ezra. Ezra is dead. He made it clear that once she dies, it goes to Ezra's children. Okay, we got a few more people. All right. Let me see who we got while you guys answer. So let's see. I got Steven, Andrea, Talia, Natalie, Gil, Sandra, Sabrina, Anthony, Joseph, Lena, Mina, Geraldine, Chad, Yanessa, Crystal, Gary, Carlos, Sarah, Daphne, Catherine, Linda, David, Peter, Jane, Vanessa, Abanub is out of the camera. We got Francis, Yamili, Brian, Nicole, Drinking, Rudy, Nanette, Myra, Pedro, Jasiel, Meredith, camera. Let's see, Leslie. All right, Leslie Andrade, how are you? Sonia, how are you? Cool. Hey, Chad, somebody's missing. Everything okay? All right. So who gets the property? Oof. Hope she gets better quick. Same thing still? All right. Tell her to try what I told her. What I send her. All right, cool. So Ezra dies. Let's break this down again. Ezra died, and he willed or transferred the property to his second wife while she's alive, during her lifetime. So this is an agreement between Ezra and the second wife. Hey, it's yours. When you die, the property goes to the children. Now they're asking again, what do the children own? Are the children the primary parties in this transaction? No, in this instance, it was specifically stated that they would get it. Traditionally, if I sell it to you with a life estate, traditionally it reverts back to me or my heirs, traditionally. In this instance, it was specifically stated that we would go to a third party. Right? Therefore, the children own a remainder interest. Because they are a third party, it does not revert back to Ezra or Ezra's heirs, right? Even though Ezra's children should be the heirs, right? Technically, right? But in the will, who was the heir? That's the part that people got confused. Who was the heir during the will? His second wife. Remember, children can be disinherited. That means that in the will I can put everything to somebody else and not to the children. In this case, I gave it to the second wife as long as she's alive. When she dies, it goes to the children. Whose children? My children. Does that make sense? So they were, in this case, were a third party. Thank you, Sonia. Trying. I'm always doing great, no matter what. Always. All right. Gotta have that attitude, otherwise, you know, life just shows up and says, hey, you're getting older. That's what it is. Gotta have a good attitude. All right, let's see. So Daphne is asking, what's an estate for years? Very good question. That's chapter 12. An estate for years is a lease for a definite period of time. So definitely not from here. Life estate, that would be whatever the second wife got, but they're not asking about the second wife. Reversion, it would be if it would revert back to Ezra, but Ezra is dead, right? And they named the third party in the contract. Therefore, remainder interest. Hey, Geraldine, you're looking great. Guys, search Geraldine. She's looking great. All right, no, go back. Go back. Put the baby in front of you. The baby in front of me. There you go. All right. Not that you don't look great when the baby's not in front of you. It's just that right now, baby look great. All right. 12. The perspective. Exactly what I meant, chat. Oh, by the way, real quick. Whatever questions, this is very, very, very important. Long questions I already told you to skip. This question is not a long question, but it might take you a long time to figure out. Don't break your brain trying to figure this one out. Skip it. Math questions, skip it. Not today. Today we're going to go through all of them. But whatever is hard for you to figure out, skip. All right? Some of you are probably going to say, well, 99% of the questions. But here's the thing. Skip as many as you can. Address the quick ones, right? The ones you know for sure what it is, right? And that will be the way you pass the exam. It's the easiest way to pass the exam. Okay? So, prospective borrower decided to change the loan from an FHA to a conventional loan. Is that a different type of loan? Okay, cool. So we're all on point with that. So in this situation, the lender, see, the borrower is the one that decided to change. In this situation, the lender must issue a new loan estimate, does not have to issue a new loan estimate, has to meet the original closing date, or is responsible for any delays caused by the change. The borrower is the one that changed from FHA to conventional. The loan changed. What must happen when the loan terms change? Very good. And it looks like everybody's on point. Right there. If there's a change in the loan, then there's a new 3-day waiting period. We must change the terms of the loan, therefore a new loan estimate. Very good. Will we be able to close next day? The answer is no, because it triggers the new 3 business day waiting period. Very good. All right, next, 13. The market data approach, sorry. Okay, so market data approach is most important in appraising what? Most important in appraising what? A church, older residence, apartment building, or newly constructed residence. Before you answer, stop. Market data approach is what? Sales comparison approach. So we need to compare it to sales. Which one would be most applicable for a sales comparison approach? Go. Sales comparison approach. Which one is most applicable for a sales comparison approach? Okay, definitely not a church because there's not many to compare to. Definitely not apartment buildings because there's not many to compare to, right? So we're between older residents and newly constructed residence. How many can we compare to the newly constructed residences? Not many. So the cost approach will probably be best for something that's new. Correct answer is B, because if it's an older residence, then most likely there's more sales that we can compare to. Correct? Okay. Very good. Oh no. Did you really answer church? It's market data approach, sales comparison approach, comps. All right. Now, 14. Can I explain why the older building? Because there's not many sales. So what did you pick, Daphne? D, right? How many new constructions do you think we can find for sale? Brand new constructions. You're trying to sell a 2-family. How many new constructions do you think you're going to find? Not many, right? So that means that the cost approach is the best approach for newly constructed buildings. Yeah. Okay. A church is a special purpose building, just like Gil wrote. And again, cost approach will be best. An apartment building will use the income approach. For us to figure out market data approach, it means there's enough sales. You need to have at least 4 or 5 different sales in the area to compare to. That's why the older residents, it's easier for us to find comparable sales. Imagine you're in an area, so Daphne, imagine you're in an area where everything is old, you're the only new construction there. Tell me how you're going to determine the value of that one. You're the only new construction. How would you figure out the value? Does that make sense? If you're the only one there, then there's no way to use a sales comparison. There's a big disparity between the older properties and the new, so there's nothing to compare to. After 1, 2, 3 sales of newer homes, then it's easier to compare. Okay? Thumbs up? Great. 14. I know those of you at home on YouTube, you're also doing thumbs up. I cannot see it, but I'm pretty sure you guys are doing thumbs up as well. All right. 14. Among the several pieces of information, the lender must gather before issuing a loan estimate, or LE, is the applicant's signed affidavit that borrower has complied with fair housing guidelines, statement of religious beliefs, social security number, or estimated earnings statement. Among the several pieces of information that we need, right, to complete the loan is what? A signed affidavit, a statement of religious beliefs, your social security number, or estimated earnings statement. Carrie, you're asking which one you use to find the price of unique buildings. That will be the cost approach. The cost approach. Or if there's income, the income approach, or a combination of both. All right, let's look over here. We got 14. 14, is it A, B, C, or D? All right. Apparently, some of you are confused. Let's figure it out. Give me some more answers. Throw them in the chat. I have almost 40 people on the line and only 13 answers so far. All right, 15, 16. Give me a few more. I'm talking about 40 people, almost 40, just on Zoom. Okay. You guys ready? Here we go. We don't need let's figure out first what you need for a completed loan application. You need aliens. The address of the property that you're trying to buy, right? The loan estimate of the property that you're trying to buy, right? The income, not estimated, but the actual income that the person has, right? What else do we need? Anybody else? What do we got? We need the names of the people. Statement of religious beliefs is definitely not there, right? Right? And we need the loan amount as well. And we're down to 2. What do you think the S in aliens stand for? Social security number. Look, some of you have answered A, and I'm going to go based on this. A signed affidavit that the borrower has complied with fair housing guidelines. First of all, you're a borrower, you're not the seller. Discrimination traditionally would be towards the seller, but obviously as a borrower you cannot discriminate either. Second, we don't have to sign anything. An affidavit, a sworn statement, definitely not. Not on the seller side, not on the buyer side. On the seller side, I must provide to you with the memorandum of law against discrimination. But you don't have to sign anything. You just have to be aware as a seller that if you discriminate, you might get sued. As a borrower, there's definitely nothing for you to sign. All right? So, and especially not an affidavit. So this is incorrect. Aliens, that's what you need. Aliens. Okay? Address, loan amount, the income, the estimated property value, the name of the borrower, and Social Security. Chapter 15 and Chapter 21. Mainly on Chapter 15. But Chapter 15 and Chapter 21. All right? 15. Broker Bensley listed the Corwin's property. His salesman, Stan Sandow, accepted a check for $5,000 earnest money with an offer. Sandow should take the check and... So here's what I do, guys. Here's what I do when I get questions that have a bunch of names. Ready? I'll write it down so I know who the broker is. Bensley. Okay? Out the way. Corwin is the seller. So you're going to have a piece of paper, guys. You should do this. Corwin is a seller, right? So they received an offer from the buyer, not from the seller, right? Obviously. They received an offer from the buyer, but who received it? Sandow, the salesman. So write this down, like break it down. Who's the broker? Bensley. Seller, Corwin's. Salesperson, Sandow, right? So now they're asking about Sandow. Sandow received the money, the $5,000. What should they do with the check? Sandow should give it to the Corwins. Who's the Corwins? The seller. Hold it until closing. Give it to Bensley. Or deposit it in Stan's special escrow account. Go. His name is Stan. Sandow is the last name. Vanessa. By now, I don't question anybody's names because I've had crazy names. So I don't question. Chat says, go to the bar. Woo! $5,000 at the bar. All rounds on me. All right. Okay, most of you have the correct answer. Okay. So let me start crossing some stuff out. Is that okay? Because that's, again, what you guys should do. Process of elimination. So let's take out. Give it to the seller? Definitely not. Okay? Unless it was specifically stated to give it to the seller and everybody agreed to it, definitely not. Right? Sandra, what happened? You look tinier. There's somebody on the camera. Hold it until closing? No, you guys remember we have 5 business days for that money to be deposited, right? So cannot hold it until closing. Now, who is Stan? Stan is a salesperson, right? Can the salesperson deposit it in his special escrow account? Salesperson cannot. Who do we have to give it to? The broker. Who's the broker? Bensley. Stephen goes like, oh God. Okay, I hope you guys are understanding so far how I break down the questions. Why is it so important for you to do this? I break it down, cross out what doesn't matter. Process of elimination is key, right? I always go down to 2 that could be close to the answer, like C and D would have been close to the answer here. But the fact that Stan is a salesperson, that's what makes that escrow account to be the wrong answer. You got it? Always. Stephen, I don't think you need to study more. I think you need to pay attention to the question. Because we did address that who gets the money. It's the broker. The salesperson can never deposit. Okay? That's chapter 2, so no. Chad says, I thought CCNA test was tough. Yeah. Did you try getting CCIP? Or no, just CCNA? No? That was tougher. Alright. CCNA is tough. CCIP. And there's another one. Forgot which one it was. There's another one. My dad actually did that one. It's like another level when it comes to networking. CCIE. Yeah, that's what it is. One of those. It's one of those CC out of here. I was done. All right. Ready? 16. It says Mrs. Hall signed a 30-day listing with the broker. 30-day listing with a broker. Then, the next day, she was killed in an accident. The listing was then A, invalid unless her husband ratified it. B, still in effect for 29 more days. C, binding upon her heirs if services had been performed. Or D, terminated. Let me know. She signed a 30-day listing. "30-day listing. She died. What happens?" All right, throw me the answers. Come on. "16. What happens to the contract?" First of all, who signed the listing was Mrs. Hall, right? That means she has entitled to list the property. So husband has nothing to do with it. So A is out of the way. Is it in effect for another 29 days? She died. No. Wait, she died. No, she's the one that signed it. Chapter 3 and Chapter 10 says a listing is terminated. Listing, not a contract, guys. It's a listing. Listing or agency agreement is terminated if there's a death of one of the parties. If we were under contract, that would be a different story. But a listing is an agreement between the broker and the seller. So can the broker enforce the sale if there's no buyers? No. If it's under contract, then attorneys enforce the sale. We have nothing to do with it. Remember, a listing is an agency agreement, again, between the broker and the seller. So seller died, automatically terminates. Chapter 3 and Chapter 10. Okay, if you're under contract, then it's between attorneys. We got nothing to do with that part. Okay, attorneys will decide if we're moving forward or not. Carlos just said it depends. It depends. You're talking regarding listing. You're talking about contracts. What are you talking about? What depends? Let's wait and see. He is typing. I guess for our classes, okay, that was your answer. Yeah, so for class purposes, yeah. But a legal contract will always be between between attorneys. If you're talking about listings, then it terminates automatically. Chapter 3, Chapter 10. If it's a contract, different story. What, for a listing? It said real life could have a curveball. The curveball is what? You killed her because you wanted the listing to be over? Hold on, we're just waiting to see. So it's what I said. If we're not in a contract, but an offer, wait. So let's address that curveball. That was a good one. First of all, like I was saying, it could be if I died and there's no, like I said, this is a listing. There's no contract, right? But if there's an offer and the offer was not accepted, so we're not under attorney review, that's also a different story. And even under attorney review, the seller could back out. So the heirs, the spouse, they could back out of it right there and then. So yes, it is it gets a little tricky at that point when there's offers on the table. Like I said, when there's an actual contract in place, if there's no contract, then it's not valid. So it gets very, very complicated. But we're talking about, in this example, we're talking about listings. It doesn't specify an offer or anything was on the table or under attorney review or anything like that. So that's why I said, if there's no offer, if there's no contract, then that's a different story. Yep. But again, like I said, as soon as there's a contract, this is between attorneys. And Carlos, you say that happened to me, that happened to you, right? So who handled it? You or the attorneys? What do you mean? You just let it go? By the way, the only reason I'm entertaining this question at this point is because it could be a variable of the question in the state exam. Otherwise, I would have just talked about it at a different time. But it could be a variable, right? If you see there's another question coming regarding somebody dying. So several questions in the state exam could be addressed with these two questions here. Okay. All right, so here we go. The answer is close to what I was saying. The broker and attorneys handle it, of course, because now there's attorneys involved. But then Carlos says, I gave up my side of the commission right off the bat. Now that sucks. Did they, just out of curiosity, did they move forward or did they cancel? Just curiosity. They ended up canceling it. Okay. All right. So as I was saying before, if it's just a listing terminated right away, that's the answer. If it's under contract, attorneys will handle it. It could be canceled. It could move forward. It all depends on attorneys and how aggressive attorneys can be. For you as an agent, now it's like, what's going to happen? So Carlos decided to just give it up in that case, and eventually they canceled it, so might as well. All right. Here's one thing I got to say about this and about any other offer. right? End contract. It's not worth, most of the times, it's not worth going after commission. Think about it this way. Thank you. Next. Make sure you have enough people in the pipeline that are constantly trying to get more sellers, more buyers, and that's how ultimately you will make a lot of money. Okay? A bunch of sellers, a bunch of buyers, and not everybody's going to be a seller or a buyer right away, but the more people you talk to, this is a people game, right? So the more people you talk to, the more influence you have, the more people will come to you. All right? So eventually you'll get that sale. All right, next. 17. A widow received ownership of the family home for the rest of her life, with title going to her children on her death. She owns what? Life estate, leasehold, remainder, or easement. The widow received the ownership. This is 17. She received ownership for the rest of her life. What does she have? Amelia, you have me in your ear, right? You're not on speaker letting everybody know, because I got to charge more if you're letting the whole grocery store know the answers to these things. I'm in your ear. You better be advertising over there. Carlos is on question 18 already. Easy. We're still on 17. I know it's 17 you meant. Got it. Emily says she's working. All right, correct answer is A, because now they're asking about the widow. What does she have? She has a life estate because it's as long as she's alive. Very good. A. 18. So, under the common law of agency, so again, agency agreements, and remember, there's 22 questions regarding agency. All right? So you need to be ready for this. Under the common law of agency, the real estate broker has a fiduciary relationship with the client, other brokers only, the seller's attorney, or both the buyer and the seller. The broker has a fiduciary relationship with who? Fiduciary. Obligation. Under the common law of agency. What is agency? Employer-employee relationship, right? So somebody hired you. Who hired you? Nice save, Gil. Gave you enough time for that one. All right. And the correct answer is client. Fiduciary relationship is to the client, the one who hired you. Very good. Chapter 3. Chapter 3, agency. Daphne coming through with the question. Here come the cops. So Daphne, fiduciary means they entrusted you. You have to uphold their best interests. They trusted you. They confided in you with their property and or money. So fiduciary. Chapter 3 is all about agency, Jessiel. Yep. And Gil, yep. You just got to treat the customer fairly and honestly. Yep. Exactly. Who do you represent? The one who hired you. So there's an agency. You're the seller's agent, buyer's agent, or disclosed dual agent. There you go. Yep, Carrie. Absolutely. Just got to be fair and honest with the other party. All right. 19. Title to real property. Title to real property is passed when a valid deed is escrowed, signed, delivered, or witnessed. Title to real property is passed when a valid deed is all right. 12 answers so far out of 38. Oops, somebody just quit on me. Let's see. Oh, Carrie, close. Very close. All right. Escrowed, definitely not. Witness, not necessary. And we're down to signed and delivered. See, a deed must be signed, but signed by who? By the seller, the grantor, right? But just because I signed the deed doesn't mean the title transferred? No. There has to be an actual delivery and acceptance. You can sign it, as many deeds as you want. Until it's delivered and accepted, it's not valid. So C is the correct answer. That's chapter 21. Delivery and acceptance. That's at the end of chapter 21. A deed does not need to be witnessed or notarized. A deed does not even need to be dated. It needs to be signed by the grantor and delivered and accepted by the buyer. Carrie says, just like an offer. Absolutely, guys, just like an offer. An offer is not valid until both parties have accepted and the delivery to the buyer. Yep, absolutely. All right. Calculations, math. A lot 80 feet wide and 200 feet deep is sold at $500 per front foot. Commission is 10% of the sales price, and the selling salesperson receives 60% of the commission. What does the salesperson receive? All right, guys, before you start calculating, remember a couple things. Let me show you. It says it's 80 feet wide and 200 feet deep. So let me help you right now. It's $500 per front foot. I told you there's one number that represents front foot or frontage. The first number given always represents front foot. Therefore, front foot is the width. We do not need this number. Go. Carrie, when is your exam? By the way, guys, do not put the answer until I show you the answers, okay? Do not put any answer until I show you the answers. Just yells is Friday. Almost. We're almost there. Carrie says August 27th. Still got a while to go. Leslie, 13th. Is that a Friday, Leslie? It's a Thursday, actually, right? Imagine taking an exam on Friday the 13th. Chad, you should nail this one because it has 10% commission, you know? All right. Carrie says a lot to study. Yep, but you're taking the morning class, so you got enough time. We actually finish on the 21st, so it'll give you enough time. The school exam is actually on the 27th, so again, enough time. For the morning class, Stephen, if that's what you're asking. Your exam is going to be Friday, this Friday. All right? Just so everybody knows, the exam is this Friday, the school exam, Friday. We don't have a Thursday, it will be Friday. only because of these delays. So Friday will be the day. This Friday. Sarah, and 27th if we fail. No, excuse me, no failure. No. Daphne, it's the same time, 5:30. But anyway, guys, focus on the question. Did I give everybody enough time to answer? Give me a thumbs up if everybody answered. All right, cool. Let's go. Why are you giving me? I'm not there. Hey, easy. Stop. Time out. Is it A, 1600, B, 2400? Stop giving me answers. Stop. C, 4000, or D, 6000? Is it A, B, C, or D? That's what I want to know. I don't want the results. A, B, C, or D? Let me know. And the correct answer is B, as in boy, 2400. All right, Geraldine, for me to explain to you. Ready? First of all, it is sold at $500 per front foot. We have front foot as being the width. That's what I told you guys, right? Geraldine, you good so far? All right, so that's $500 times 80. So that's $40,000. Correct? That is the sales price. The commission is 10%. That's the gross commission. I don't think we need calculators for this, right? 10% of 40,000 is $4,000 commission, right? But the salesperson received 60% of the commission, right? So 60% of the $4,000. If it's at the bottom, we multiply, because the commission is the total value, is the gross. We're trying to figure out how much they took it, what is their cut. So it's a part of the full commission. If the numbers are at the bottom, we multiply them, and 4,000 times 60% is 2,400. An easier way to do this would be 4 times 6 is 24, and boom, the answer, 2,400. All these sirens and it's not even raining yet. Imagine when it starts flooding. Okay. All right, ready for the next one? Is this helpful so far, guys? Good. Great. So a few years ago, I used to do reviews like a lot of schools do. Still, I just saw a review the other day. I used to do reviews with going over PowerPoints, each chapter and whatnot. I think going practical is a little bit better than reviewing PowerPoints, because reviewing PowerPoints is me just vomiting information. Like, hey, boom, this is that over 3-day period of reviewing 22 chapters. Yeah, no. So the PowerPoints work for some people. Chad already said I hate PowerPoints. For some people, it's great. I think for the majority, the results that I've been getting after doing this have been way better. So this morning, I had a chance with the morning class to do review quizzes. I haven't had a chance with the evening class because we have way more people and a lot more questions, right? I don't have a Daphne in the morning yet, so it's building up, which is great. Because then instead of doing review questions, she's constantly helping you guys review. So in that sense, it's great. But in the morning was a lot of fun, at least for me it was. It's rapid fire, like these questions, rapid fire. Anthony, you were there. You saw how it was. Andrea, you're there as well. Vanessa. So Vanessa was jumping up and down of happiness every time she got a right answer. Andrea was trying to kill somebody, and Anthony was just smiling like, okay, I saw that. That was him in the morning. All right. Hey, Carrie was there too. There you go. Yeah, in the morning they asked little to no questions. Sarah was just like, always in the background, does try to answer a few things here and there, but she was more in the background. It's like, ooh, okay. You cannot understand most of the words? Vanessa? You want me to speak slower? Is that what it is? The best thing I got from Andrea from this morning and now is the crying baby gets the milk. Steven, I was going to ask if you grade chapter review questions. Nope, I don't grade anything. I try to leave that to you so you can get an honest review of what you're doing. Okay? I don't want to be judging you. I want you to judge yourself on how hard are you working or not to get this result. Right? Steven, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. We got that one too, yeah. It was the oil. I think that's the answer we got in the morning. The oil. Right, Andrea? Let's see. Vanessa, no, it's because I don't have a big vocabulary in English. It's okay. I don't either. Don't worry about it. As long as we got a big vocabulary and a bunch of stuff, that already puts us ahead. Okay? Oh, you've been learning a lot of new words with this course, so I have to charge you for English as a second language? ESL courses could be expensive, I'm just saying. Like for business, this is business. Even more expensive. We're looking at $5,000 a course. So yeah. All right. 21. Restrictive covenants that run with the land. Restrictive covenants that run with the land are established by local municipalities, are binding on future owners of the property, must be approved by a court, or may not be more restrictive than building codes. Restrictive covenants that run with the land. Carrie goes like, Bruno, do not waste time, businessman. Have to. She's the one that says she's learning English, new words with this course, so I got to charge for the professional ESL, you know, business ESL. That's what it is. All right. Let's see, a bunch of B's. Is the answer B? Or is it A? Correct answer is B as in boy. They're binding on future owners because restrictive covenants that run with the land are placed by private parties. Unless described otherwise, they are binding on all future owners. Correct answer is B as in boy. You'll find that on chapter 9. Binding on all future owners. That's private land use control, chapter 9. Private land use control. Covenants are promises, conditions, guarantees, stuff like that. Covenants. Okay, so the property is yours as long as, right? The new owner will have to abide by the same rules. Carrie just went like, ouch. All right. VA and FHA mortgages are notable for their subsidized payments, prepayment penalties, adjustable rates, or low down payments. VA and FHA mortgages are notable for their all right, and it looks like most of you got it. They're notable for their low down payments. Okay, 3.5 or even 0 if it's VA. Very good. 23. Pay attention. Who is uniquely in a position to provide the TRID toolkit to a buyer, but not required to? First of all, chapter 15 and TRID toolkit, 14, and TRID toolkit is when you learn about lending, about borrowing money, about the differences in purchasing different loans, different rates, what could happen, how's the credit score affect your or impact your loan, all that good stuff. So who is in a unique position to provide that to the buyer but not required to? Is it the lender, the buyer's agent, closing agent, insurance agent? Who is in a unique position to provide? 23. Who is in a unique position to provide? Remember, it says not required to. Not required. The insurance agent, definitely not. Let me help you out. Closing agent could be the title company or the attorney, the buyer's attorney usually, right? So definitely not. We're down to lender and buyer's agent. Not required to. I'll give an opportunity for some of you to change your answers because it's not required to provide. There's one entity that's required to provide, one that is not out of these two. Carrie goes 23, it's either A or B. Yeah, we know that. We're down to those two. It's either A or B. Look, according to TRID rules, so truth in lending and RESPA integrated disclosures, the lender is required to provide but is not obligated to explain. The buyer's agent represents the buyer, therefore you should advise them on these things before they even get into a loan so they can shop around. Very, very important. So that's chapter 14. Stephen goes, I bet it's A, and oh, I got it right. Wait, the answer is B. You got it right before, that's what you're saying? Okay. Tricky question. Yes, Yamili, a bunch of tricky questions in the state exam. That's why I keep on pointing out a few things so you guys can read, break it down, and understand it. 24. Private restrictions on land may be created by, zoning regulations, building codes, deeds, or any of the above. Private restrictions on land use may be created by zoning regulations, building codes, deed, or any of the above. Think before you answer. There's two, they are very similar, but in this case don't qualify at all. Let me help you out. It's private restrictions. Who places private restrictions? The seller does. Through what? Restrictive covenants. Where? Stephen is yelling. Vanessa's like, are you okay, Steve? Vanessa, he needs more of that tea with cocoa. He worked apparently, I don't know. Carrie, the owner, absolutely. This is municipality. This is municipality. Therefore, these are public restrictions or government restrictions. They're not private. If it's private, it's through a deed. Very good. I gotta get into it. Okay. All right. And chat says good even after I am deed. Alrighty. That was a deep joke. Very good. All right, next. 25. 25. Stephen will get to that one later. The use of subtle means to induce buyers to settle in neighborhoods that the broker thinks appropriate is known as blockbusting, redlining, bird dogging, or steering. The use of subtle means to induce buyers to settle in neighborhoods that the broker thinks it's appropriate is known as all right, very good. Steering. Steering is taking people to the tour away. Blockbusting would be scaring, and redlining would be refusing people to get loans or insurance. Very good. All right. 26. A mortgage broker usually offers what service? Vanessa, I want my points. That was in the morning. A mortgage broker usually offers what service? Is it they handle closing procedures? They bring borrower and lender together? They provide initial funding? Or they sell mortgages on the secondary market? Make sure you put the question number first. What does a mortgage broker do? They are brokering, right? They're mediating. It says broker. So what do? Do they handle closings? No. Do they provide funding? No. That would be a banker. Do they sell mortgage on the secondary market? That would be whoever holds a note or the mortgage, right? So the correct answer is brokering. They bring the borrower and lender together. 27. A broker receives a commission only if she produces a buyer before someone else sells the property. She's probably working under what type of listing? So before I move forward, she receives a commission only if she produces a buyer before someone else. That means there's more than one, right? Is this an open listing? Gil. Don't jump at answers. Is this an open listing? Net listing? You okay, Sarah? Exclusive right to sell listing or exclusive agency listing? 27. What is this? $5 charge, Gil. $5. Sorry, penalty. That's it. Hunger Games, yep. Crystal, you should have seen this in the morning. Talk about Hunger Games. They were going at each other. Correct answer is open. It's an open relationship. Whoever brings a buyer is game. There's no commitment. There's no listing. There's no nothing. It's like, hey, do you know somebody? Bring him. Hey, do you know somebody? Bring him. Hey, do you know somebody? Bring him. Before someone else sells. That's what it is. So correct answer is A, open. That's why I highlighted or circled only these ones. You only get a commission if you bring a buyer before anyone else. 28. All right, 28. Investors will sometimes borrow money to make a real estate purchase. This practice is called bulk transfer, exchange, leverage, or pyramiding. Investors will borrow money to make a real estate purchase. This is called what? Bulk transfer, exchange, leverage, or pyramiding. What is this called? All right. Bulk transfer is when you sell a business, right? So it doesn't apply. Exchange is not borrowing money, it's just exchanging between one person and the other. And we're down to two: leverage or pyramiding. See, pyramiding is refinancing what you already have. Borrowing money for a real estate purchase is called leveraging. Instead of putting all your cash, you're leveraging between your money and somebody else's money to accomplish the same goal. Leveraging. You put a portion of your money while somebody else puts the most of their money. So you reduce your risk, increase somebody else's risk, right? 29. A broker listing a house may be guilty of discrimination for purposely not mentioning the house to a qualified Hispanic home buyer, qualified black home buyers, qualified white home buyers, or any of the above. A broker listing may be guilty of discrimination for purposely not mentioning the house to Hispanic, black, or white, all qualified, or any of the above. 29. Correct answer is, this one should be easy, some of these will go fast, and it's any of the above. If they are qualified, then it does not matter the race at all. You got it? If they are qualified, they're financially qualified, they can buy. So very good, guys. We almost got everybody to not discriminate. Okay, Carrie didn't discriminate either. 30. Deed restrictions are a method by which local zoning ordinances are enforced. The planning commission makes it work effective. Cities can control construction details, or the seller can limit the buyer's use. I don't know how many questions of these we already had, but deed restrictions or private restrictions are a method by which local zoning ordinances are enforced. Planning commission makes its work effective. Cities can control construction details, or the seller can limit the buyer's use. Deed restrictions. Deed. Seller. Correct answer is D for deed. Okay? Very good. 31. Chad is like, how many ways can you ask questions on deeds? There's another one coming up soon. Stay tuned. All right. 31. Jessiel is asking which chapter. So you'll have this on chapter 9. For this particular thing, what we talk about here, it's private land use control. All right, 31. Which of the following exceptions is not allowed under New Jersey law? So we're talking about exceptions. Not allowed under New Jersey law. Certain types of housing may be restricted to members of one sex. Owners may discriminate when selling their own homes. Religious organizations may discriminate on basis of religion, or renting a duplex or up and down two-family dwelling. An owner may discriminate except for race. Which one of these is not allowed under New Jersey law? Think about it. Which one is not allowed under New Jersey law? Crystal, is that your passcode? 031B. All right. Let me help you guys. Ready? New Jersey exceptions are only for rentals. New Jersey's exceptions are only for rentals. Which one talks about selling? B. Okay? Under rentals exceptions, you can restrict house to members of one sex. You can restrict house based on religious organizations, so membership. And you can, under state law, not federal, but under state law, you can restrict if you're owner-occupant on a duplex or up and down two-family. If the question was under federal law, then this would say 1 to 4 family, and it's definitely okay, any of these at all. So it would not make sense here for the federal. But under state, the key word was selling, because state exceptions apply only to rentals. All right? 32. 32 says the primary purpose of a deed is to, you want another question? Primary purpose of a deed is to what? Furnish security, give notice, transfer title of rights, or prove ownership. What is the primary purpose of a deed? Go. 32. Primary purpose of a deed. See, all of these would be correct for deeds, except for D. It does not prove ownership. It just proves that something happened. What happened? A transfer. Having a deed, unless it's recorded, it does not give notice to anyone, or unless it's you have it in your hand and you're waving it around, does not give notice to anyone. And it does not give you any security, because it does not mean that that the seller had good title in the first place. So the C is the correct answer, because the only thing you get with a deed, or the primary reason for a deed, is to transfer ownership. That's all. Carrie goes, I know it's not D because I fell on that one already before. I failed it. All right. 33. A summary of the history of all conveyances and legal proceedings affecting a specific parcel of real estate is called chain of title, title insurance policy, certificate of title, or abstract of title. A summary of the history. That's all you got to focus on. Gil, what happened? AB? What's an AB? All right. What is it called? Summary. We're not talking about the history. We're talking about the summary. Oh. Summary. We're not asking about the history. We're talking about a summary of the history. That includes all conveyances, transfers, also legal proceedings, taxes, and all that stuff against the property. What is it called? Every time you see the word summary, you got to remember abstract of title. This is one of the 4 evidences of title, which is abstract of title in the attorney's opinion, title insurance, right? Torrent certificate and certificate of title. Abstract is a summary or a brief history of everything against the property. So correct answer is D as in David. Joseph? Yep, like Carfax, almost. The only thing it's not showing is the insurance claims. All right? Titles. Carrie says I fell on that one for the second time. Oh yeah, here I wish everything was included. Title of owners is easy to defer. What do you mean? All right. Chain of title is owner's abstract is summary. Yeah, if they ask you about chain of title, it will be all the owners. Yeah, all the conveyances, correct. If it's abstract, then it's a summary of all ownerships and anything that's attached to the property. Okay, great. Yep. All right, guys, it's 7:45. Let's go for a quick break. You guys, let me know, 5 or 10 minutes. 10 minutes, 5 minutes. What? Ooh, 10 minutes, everybody. Okay. So 7:55, we're back. 7:55, we're back. Crystal, I need a nap. If you're on YouTube, go back to the second link. We'll be right back, okay?